AskReddit Bioscene Sunfizz. Hardware store workers, what is the most I just committed murder purchase you've ever seen? My hardware store did sell to a serial killer about 20 years ago. He ordered rope and a specifically short amount of chain and wire that was sold by the foot. He later used those to strangle his victims. After he was caught, recipes were found from our store. Police came in, showed the picture, and my boss confirmed he had bought the stuff. What recipes did your store have for him? Duderel orange? Creme body? Corpsicles? When I was 16, some friends and I were buying PVC pipe. A worker, who was a 20-something stoner, asked if we needed help finding anything and we gave him our list. He chuckled and said, "You're building a potato gun." We claimed we weren't and he just shook his head and told us we were doing it wrong. He showed us all the parts and told us how to put together our not potato gun. I hope that dude is thriving, because a potato gun he helped us with literally shot a potato over 2 football field lengths. It was basically a 5-foot long mortar. Worked in a plumber's merchant for years. Every once in a while we'd get a bunch of teenagers in buying stuff that was clearly destined to be a potato cannon. I always helped them out too. In my spare time I'm sometimes a stagehand. Recently I had to buy plastic tarps, duct tape, and zip ties for a production. I didn't think about how that would look until the obviously very new cashier was like, that's some collection of items you got there." Theater involves weird purchases sometimes. Fake weapons and cigarettes are probably the most notable. I work for a call center of a farm type supplies, and I had a guy call and order some buckets, a tarp, and some like 5 pairs of gloves, and made sure that these were shipped to his office, not home. Poor guy just working graveyard shift. Years ago had a guy walk in quickly and say he needed a shovel, black tarp, and lime. I told him where everything was and said, "And I don't want to know about it." He was confused and I said, "You are buying things to dispose of a body." He got sad. His dog had died. This is making me so sad. Not a murder, but a woman once came into Fleet Farm in the middle of the workday in a very nice business suit. I rung up for her a castrator, pliers, and 1 single bag of bands. I asked if she wanted to put it on a farm sheet and she said it wasn't for farm use, completed her purchase in cash and walked out. It was not spring, when sheep castrating usually happens, and she was what I would call highly agitated. I watched the newspaper for a while after that. TBF, we use the pliers for working on pilot oxygen mask cord keepers. We can them illustrators. I once bought 4 bottles of bleach and a wire brush with no other items. The checkout lady didn't laugh when I said it was hard to get blood out of tile, lol. I did pretty much this same thing once, but I was actually trying to get blood stains out of grout. Seriously, save yourself the time and effort. Just replace the grout. When my family owned a hardware store, we, unknowingly, ended up selling a handsaw to a guy who later used it to cut up the body of his girlfriend he murdered. A couple of us ended up having to testify at his murder trial to help prove premeditation. I never ended up following the trial any further, but I think he was unfortunately suffering from a mental breakdown or illness. Thank you for sharing. Some of the comments here are actually wild. You work retail enough you don't even notice. The person could roll through with duct tape, a chair, a large metal wash tub, 2 bags of quickset concrete and a bag of zip ties, and it wouldn't even slow down the cashier except to roll the bag of concrete over to get at the barcode. Click, click, click. Will that be cash or debit? Bye bye. A long time ago my mom worked as a manager at a local Ace hardware store that sold guns and ammo. She had a story of a guy that came in and very urgently wanted to buy a gun and 1 bullet. She refused him. A patient my mom cared for when she was a nurse had tried to slit his own wrists in a motel room, but was unsuccessful. He wrapped his bloody wrists up and took a taxi to a nearby store. He managed to buy a shotgun and a box of shells, took a taxi back to the motel room where he then attempted to blow his brains out. He failed at this, and became a patient in the hospital where my mother worked. He was either extremely lucky, or extremely unlucky, depending upon how you look at it. I bought a murder kit for my friend's birthday from the dollar store a few years ago. The cashier didn't care at all, but the guy in front of me was looking worried. Details please exclamation point. What's in a murder kit? Hacksaw. A woman had killed her lover and stuffed the body under the bed until she could dispose it. After she was caught, the police came by to confirm she bought it from us. Edit. Wow, this blew up. For more context, this happened in a Jersey Shore town sometime between 2000 and 2007. I tried googling the details I remember but couldn't find an article. I worked at a mom and pop hardware store during high school and college. Fascinating place to work. Dealt with people from every conceivable walk of life and some truly quirky regulars. Damn. The rest of these could have logical explanation, but this one takes the cake if she really did murder someone. Which she did, lol. Contractor bags, hacksaw, shovel, quicklime. I work in Detroit, so we keep them all in the same aisle. Did a young lady in Timberlands tip you when you recommended a nail gun? Had a lady once buy a bunch of plastic wrap, duct tape, and bleach. Swore it was for spring cleaning. Cleaning out her husband. How much lime do you reckon it would take to dissolve a body? Most probably 2. Okay. Can I buy 2 bags of lime please? Yep, the police were called, told the car's rego, and there was a body in a barrel on the property. That's nuts. Is there a new article? I'd love to read it. I bought a shovel, concrete, contractor bags, tarp, bleach, goggles, Tyvek suit, gloves. Why, I really bought all that. Completing turnover repairs on a rental property. Had to dig around the porch slab and reinforce with additional concrete. The porch was surrounded by a flower bed, so all of the dirt had to be put on the tarp. Trash bags were used to pick up all of the trash left on the property by the previous renters. Bleach was diluted with water and used to kill mold spores in the shower surround. Goggles and Tyvek suit were used while operating a paint sprayer to paint the interior of the home. I have made similar purchases to this hundreds of times for home repairs. So far, no FBI agents have come looking for me. That you know of. About 20 years ago I worked at a Sears that was in one of the last major shopping centers on the way to a very fashionable vacation destination. A well-dressed older guy in a baseball cap came in and filled up his cart with saw blades, hand saws, drill bits, and so many vices. It was all woodworking stuff, but in surprising quantities. Usually the big sales were to young people just starting out in a trade, or recent retirees starting a new hobby. The woodworkers this guy's age tended to have established shops, garages, and would come in for replacement pieces, but this was all brand new. I wanted that commission, so I worked a little extra to help him find stuff. He was pleasant and soft spoken. When I rang him up and asked for his phone number for the rewards program, he gave me a number with an LA area code. Back then it was more rare for people to have out-of-state numbers, especially. No way, Wes Craven the real guy, that's so cool. Deleted. Did you tell him he was forgetting the heavy-duty tape? We had a guy come in right as we opened at 6 AM. He asked someone to cut him a short length of rope, explaining that he was gonna use it to hang himself. One of our cashiers spent some time talking to him and was able to talk him down. He left without buying the rope, and management gave the cashier an award later that year for helping the guy. Good on the management. I know some places which would have fired or demoted the cashier for not making the sale. Large axe, cheap tarps, bulk box of duct tape, and an air filter. Not a hardware store but a discount chain. I testified on the validity of video footage of the murderers buying rope, shovel, gloves, and the items to bury the body. These guys used a brand associated only with that chain of stores. Pretty easy to trace the tools back to where they were purchased. Wait. They did murder somebody. More details please. Duct tape, nylon rope, 2 cinder blocks. Nylon rope was a rookie move, it sticks around and floats. Should buy thick jute rope. I went to Walmart and bought condoms, lube, duct tape, a padlock, bath towels, set of sheets, a cheesecake, I like cheesecake okay, and some other things, and the cashier said I hope you have a wonderful honeymoon. What the fuck? I love it. Less murder than theft, but my Ace Hardware had a no returns policy on bolt cutters. A lot of customers changed their mind at the till when informed of this. Hahaha. Just the one bolt then? Should rent them by the hour. I have a house in an urban area next to a huge high-rise, and I was very frustrated that they had a dying tree abutting our property line, for which after months of emailing, I decided to take matters into my own hands. There was also a large rat problem from their dumpsters. So I went to Home Depot and got a product to solve each problem. On my way to checkout I noticed a huge display of duct tape, so I reflexively grabbed one, thinking you can never have enough. So as I put my purchases on the checkout line, the employee asked me if she had to be concerned. I looked down and I was checking out with just a roll of duct tape, an axe and a bunch of rat poison. I was able to convince her we were all good. Dead eye stare, it's in your best interest not to be concerned right now.